everybody will take their seat here, we'll get ready to get started. Before we start, we're going to have the pledge, and the pledge is going to be given by Board of Works member Ron Coldine. Today, we're going to have an invocation. Each time we meet, we invite people to come and give the invocation. And if you'd like to do that, if you call the mayor's office, Melissa will line you up. Whether or not you participate in the invitation or the invocation has no bearing on the business you've come here to do today. And you may participate or not participate. And I would ask all of you, if you would, to put your phones in the silent position on or turn them off before we get started. With that, let's all stand. Ronnie, if you'll lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brother Brian Fowles is going to give our invocation today.
Let's pray. Father God in heaven, we want to thank you for that we had to come here today, Lord, to as a community, as workers in this community, Lord, to discuss the business of Connersville, God. And we thank you for this great community you blessed us with and the opportunity we had to be a part of this great community and serve this community. Lord, I pray that your presence will be felt upon this meeting, Lord. I pray that you'll guide and direct our decisions and the thoughts that are things that are discussed here today, Lord. And Lord, just we ask your blessing upon this community, God. We ask that you bring jobs. We ask that you help our economy, Lord, and the decision that you can make on that, Lord. We just pray your blessing and help for this community. God, thank you for these men and women on this board up here, Lord. I pray that you be with them, bless their families, bless their homes, bless their work, bless their businesses, God. And may we just honor you in all we say and do. Again, we thank you for Connersville. We thank you for this great community and the opportunity we have to serve and be a part of it. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Call the meeting of the Board of Works and Public Safety together for this session. First item of business will be roll call.
Jane Oakley, present. Fran Schomel.
Present.
Leonard Urban.
Present.
Mike Bishop.
Present.
Ron Coldiron.
Present.
Let the record show that all are present. We have a quorum and we can do business. Reading the minutes of the March 17th, 2014 regular meeting.
I move that the minutes be accepted as so stated, Your Honor, for March 17th.
I'll second.
2015.
Motion and second, we accept the minutes as they were sent out to the board members. Any additions or corrections? None appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Under new business, we got a request for a bucket drive from the Cancer Society on May the 17th. Shirley, you want to come up and...
I'm Shirley Counselor, President of the Fayette County Cancer Society. We're asking a request for a bucket drive Saturday, May 17th from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. And we'd like the locations to be 6th and Grand and 24th and Grand. And
24th and Grand's a bad place because it's under construction. You'd be better off to come down here on Central. What is it, 6th and Central?
Is the construction going to be that far north like Clifton?
It's on 21st Street, it's pretty bad.
The road's torn up, yes.
Grand is still open.
Grand is open, but the cross traffic you can't.
That's the 21st, this is 24th.
If you want to go there, I guess it'd be all right, but I prefer you didn't because it's a mess up there.
But 6th and Central and 6th and Grand would probably be better.
Yeah.
okay.
Have you done this before, Shirley? Have you done this bucket drive before?
Yes, we
So
have.
you know the procedure, how you have to...
Yes, and
Okay.
of course, all the money that we do raise goes to the cancer patients here in Fayette County.
Good.
What's your pleasure, board?
I move that we allow the Fayette County Cancer Society on May 17th to have a bucket drive at 6th and Grand, 6th and Central.
Second, please.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anybody out there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Request City
Debbie.
Trash Collection, 620 McCann Street, Phil Henry.
I'll make the Henry.
We own the apartments at 620 McCann and would like to request city trash pickup there.
4 cans, right?
Would need 4 cans is what I
And it's
estimate.
$10 a month? They're willing to pay that?
Yeah.
What's your pleasure?
I know Mr. Henry's apartments, he does a very good job of keeping them up, and I'd recommend that we help him out.
Second.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
That's a motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave will have to tell you where you want to put them for collection, probably out there on McCann Street.
McCann.
Put them all together, okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. David will tell you when you get your cans, he'll deliver to you, okay? And, somebody else figure out how he's gonna be put on the bill. Where's David? And be sure he gets on, so we bill him. You can stay for the whole meeting now, Hilton. Okay, request to read liens to be waived at 326 East 12th Street. This is old business, really came out of the meeting last time. Come forth. Howard, Mr. Howard.
Yes. Howard
That's
Benson.
it.
DNS.
Right. We have researched this, and I don't know what the chief of police came up with. What'd you come up with, David?
Mayor,
Counselor, or Joe? David? You know anything about this weed liens on 326 East 12th?
No more than what,
Okay, what's it say?
well, only thing I can tell you, Mayor, is we got the paperwork, we had 2 letters were sent out, and they were sent back.
The letters were sent back, I have those.
And the thing is, I seen the work order, what was done on the property. I don't know if they've got that work order mixed up with somebody else's property or something, but I have to say that what was on the work order, no way would take care of that. That property doesn't have that much grass. You live on the hillside, right here on the corner?
Yeah, it's got no.
That grass has been worn off for years. We got some kids' toys out there and stuff around. And they said they had a rider up there and a regular mower, 2 guys for.
One of them was like that. The first one didn't talk about using any kind of mowers. It just used a pickup truck.
I
And
can
it
see
says
them,
that they picked up tree branches.
I can see some tree branches and I can maybe see some weeds, but the mowing part I
Mr.
can't.
Benson, do you believe they mowed it or cleaned it up?
Well, my son,
Did they?
he was with me, he'd like to speak on that, about that.
Did they clean it up? Did they work there?
I cut down branches and I put them down, down lower by the curb. So very well, they could have picked them up. I didn't see that. But I did I cut the grass, I cleared everything, cut
This one
everything
was done
down.
in June.
I got pictures to show
And it
that
shows
I,
that they just picked up
what it looked like
branches.
beforehand.
They just charged for pickup truck.
I could believe that one, but
This
the
one,
other one.
it shows a push mower, a trimmer, and a riding mower. And they also have a pickup truck.
Okay, we incurred costs with the kids over there mowing. Would it be fair if we just charge you the $175?
Mayor. On this one, it's $225, and on this one, it was $350.
It's $575 total.
Now,
correct.
if we paid those kids $9 an hour over there, I think you had.
Well, this was our regular guys, that wasn't our,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the ones that they said were remote.
What's fair to you?
We was discussing that, and I was hoping that, my income and everything, that I wouldn't be charged if not a whole lot of money, but.
Is $175 too much?
I think that would be fair.
That was fair.
I make a motion and we charge them $175.
Wait, before you make the motion, I got a question. What's gonna keep you from this happening again this summer? You gonna keep the property up?
The sign.
One thing that's changed is my dad has been dismissed from the nursing home. He's been staying with me for probably the last 5 months or so. I was trying to get him back to going back home, and that's the goal hopefully here, hopefully spring or early summer to go
That's
back
my
home.
goal.
And that way he's able to hopefully have the neighbors help him and himself develop, hopefully keep up the grounds. And of course, no one there, it's difficult to keep up the grounds as perfect as you would like, but hopefully this won't happen again. One thing to the mayor and the board, I just apologize if any inconveniences happen, but definitely I would have to say that, my dad's lived there for 30 years, and as far as I know of, there's been no accusations against him doing this before. Has never been in jail or done anything like this, so it's kind of the first occurrence, with him being in the nursing home and going through problems, physically. It's the first time that this has ever happened,
Now, just, why don't you leave your name with the chief, because he's going to take this job this summer. If there's a problem, he can contact you.
Almost definitely. You
Okay.
guys get ahold of me anytime.
Is there a second to my motion or not?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You pay the $175 to you, Julie?
No, it'll have to go to the county.
And then
But we'll have to release the rest
We'll
of
release the
it.
rest of the claim,
The
okay?
county treasurer's office,
Is that in the main?
Courthouse.
in the main, or where you pay your property
Oh,
taxes.
okay.
And then we'll release the rest of the liens.
But we'll have to, it'll take us a few days to get over there and release the rest of the liens. So you might want to give it a few days and let us get the paperwork over.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much, sir.
Only can I hear?
resolution 2014-10, we're transferring the mayor's office $50 from travel to bonds. We didn't have enough to pay the security bonds this year. Pretty simple.
You want to do the other one too?
We just will do the other ones. Resolution 2014-11, it's transfer in the non-reverting fund to cover the fees. You know how we do it. If it's okay with you, we'll take D&E together.
I'll move that we accept Resolution 2014-10 and 2014-11.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2014-12, amending contractual agreement between the Board of Works and the Utility Board. They've been charging us 5% to collect the trash bill. We have consulted with some other cities, and we've consulted with our financial advisors. They think that's too much. After all, we own the utility. 1% would cover the cost of doing that work, and it would help the city to the tune of 4%. And Mr. Baker has got a, not a resolution, he's got a ordinance ready for tonight. If you guys pass this, we'll change it to 1%. Any discussion?
Can you, go ahead.
We probably have the same question. Financially, if you look at 2013, do you know about how much this would save the city if we would?
Julie has.
That's why.
I think it's about $10,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
Per year?
Yes.
That's my question on something.
Every little bit helps.
That's right.
Certainly.
And we're sending the bill out, our own company's doing it for us, and 1% is adequate to pay.
We have a resolution 2014-12 be passed.
A second.
Any discussion? Does anybody have a problem out there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 2014-13. This is approval of executing a quick claim deed to historic Connersville for the old Holes House. We've taken this to you before. We have to start it here, and then the council will finish it tonight. They'll take care of it. They've had a 99-year lease on it or 40-year lease, I forget, forever anyway, so it just makes it legal, and they'll take care of it.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 2014-13, quick claim deed to the Historical Society.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anybody out there want to discuss it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Department matters. First one will be Superintendent Dave Nutty.
You want to take that first item on agenda
Yeah.
first?
Go ahead. If you look in your,
You'll see a letter. What I have with me, and I have Mary Ellen Blanton also present. Mary Ellen Blanton is preparing to retire July 10th of this year. The letter you have in front of you is her letter of notification of her retirement. Like the other management who's planning on retire, she's given you lots of notice because we're still dedicated to our jobs, and we want to make sure that there's a smooth transition and that a qualified person can be informed
before she leaves.
The smoothest transition
Transition as possible.
would be if you all just stayed.
That'd be it, yeah.
Well, and you know the reason, the
Yeah.
perf is affecting our retirement, so it's best that we,
I'm afraid we're gonna have more retirements than we can handle.
That's it.
For the people that don't know in this room, PERF is intending to take about 3.5% of the part that the people have paid in over the years out of their pension if they don't retire prior to October the 1st. We think it's kind of a ploy to get people to retire, and so several people stand to lose a lot of money. And other reasons, they're of legal age to retire. Some of them may even be eligible for other retirements, and so I don't blame them. They're taking advantage of that. So, as much as I hate to say it, I recommend we allow Mary Ellen to retire. She's a great employee. I'll tell you, I worked with her for 6 years, and if anybody kept me out of jail, it's her, even more than John Baker, because you get this stuff constantly that you gotta comply with, and she has done all that compliance for years, and it just gets worse and worse. I think Mary Ellen would tell you, every day it just gets worse.
did you want the letter read, or is it sufficient that you have it?
I'll have my,
Oh, you didn't need to read it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
my super reader.
April 1, 2014, the Board of Public Works, the Honorable Leonard Urban Mayor, and members of the Common Council, City of Connersville. For the past 35 years, I have proudly served Connersville Utilities as Laboratory Supervisor and Chief Chemist, Pre-Treatment Coordinator, and Superintendent. I came to Connersville as a recent graduate from Ball State University with a passion for protecting the environment when this building, which we are standing in, was a Woolworths store. I'm sorry to say that I have come to a point in my life where I must take my retirement. Though I understand that this is earlier than expected, many factors have compelled me to make this decision. After much thought and careful consideration, I have decided that July 10, 2014 will be my final day of employment. I have enjoyed all these years and the many people I have been associated with. I am asking for your approval of this new journey and want to assure you of my full cooperation in making this transition as smooth as possible. Thank you, and may God bless you. Respectfully, Mary Ellen Blanton.
As I started to tell you, she has been a super employee. She knows what she's doing down there.
Yes.
She knows it better than anybody will.
She makes good books.
She
makes good books?
Yes. She's got numerous awards for all that she's done. And I hate to say this because they'll print it in the paper tomorrow, but I really thought she'd stay beyond me. And I knew it would be a worry when she did retire.
You wanted everything to stay beyond you. I mean, it's,
Now you can put that in the paper.
I mean, we're going to have a lot of retirement parties apparently.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll take a motion if you guys.
I'll second your motion that you made earlier.
Okay. Is any further discussion?
I just think, Your Honor, that we're gonna have a hard time finding someone that's as meticulous as Mary Ellen has been. And the proof of it's laying here in front of us with these reports. That takes a lot of her own time and effort and just mounds and mounds and mounds of information in there. I just wish you the very best, Mary Ellen.
If you're ready, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Make the motion and vote against it. That's really kosher.
That happens every so often.
Yeah.
You wanna
Mary
try
Ellen,
it?
you officially get to stay until the 10th.
Yeah.
Next item of business.
You alluded to the annual report you have in front of you. Mary Ellen has prepared and published that report for you. And you'll read through that, and you'll find that there is lots and lots of compliance down there, lots of things they've done to keep Connersville Utilities as respectful as it is with IDM and other agencies.
This is not just done for fun. Every one of these reports in here is mandated. There's hours and hours and hours and hours of work in here. And it's all compliance that will have to be done after she's gone. That's the reason that job is so hard to fill.
And that's just one annual report. What's, you got the CSO and sludge and
Plus all the things she has to go out on the job and do.
pre-treatment and so forth.
Running a business.
What's your next item of business?
I have a gentleman out on Country Club Road, 1971 Country Club Road, who's requesting to hook onto the city sewer. He's outside the city, and he's applied for that. And he currently has city water, but is going to build a new house on the property and wants to have city sewer also. Donald Kunkel, 1971 Country Club Road.
Can you quote the ordinance that tells us how we do that? I know how to do water, but I don't think I've ever done a sewer hookup. Is it the same as water? They pay a service charge?
Oh, yeah, they pay a 10% surcharge.
And there are people that are hooked up from outside the city.
Yes, and beyond him. He's about across from the clubhouse on Country Club Road. And there's many on sewer way past that.
I guess that, we like customers then.
Sure.
For sure.
Motion?
I'll okay that the 1971 Country Club Road be allowed to hook on the city sewer system.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Does that require city council approval? Okay, water does, but sewer doesn't, okay.
Not that I know of. It's always
No,
been
I
here
think it's
that
just water, isn't it, John?
Correct.
I also, the last Board of Works meeting, we had an approval to amend the agreement with Pleasant Utilities on rates. I have that. I can have you sign that after the
We
meeting.
passed that, didn't we?
Yes, you passed this, and city attorney drafted this.
I won't hand it up here.
Put up with everything else we need, so.
Yep, sure. Okay. Owner, Matt Shirk has already signed it and dated the last meeting. Also, I'm thrilled to say that we've got over 2,000 of those retrofit transmitters installed.
So that's only 1,000 left to install.
Just under 1,000. That means we have 1,000 of the whole units and 2,000 of the transmitter on another. So as soon as we get the other whole units, we'll keep on going. It's really reducing the time it takes to read
We'll have
meters.
more than half of our units being read.
Yes,
And how are they working?
they're doing well.
Good. Made a good decision once.
Yeah, yeah, doing well. Yeah, so I just want
Any
to make sure
questions
you do
on the
that.
board?
No.
I am allowing the guys to work a couple hours after work each evening, with the exception of Wednesdays. We're trying to have one day in the week just for installing these retrofits so that we reduce the overall overtime. And as long as that continues to work, we'll continue to do that.
Okay, and let me say for the press's benefit, this is in utilities, this is not tax money. And we are installing those units because just as soon as we get them installed, it'll cut our cost with a meter reader, it'll cut our cost and should increase our water payments and our sewage payments. But that is being okayed by this board because it is coming out of utility, and we have a 3-year program, or a 2.5-year program really, to install and have this all done.
My plan was to have this all done before I retire, but with the way PERF has made the new laws, I'm not going to make that. But they will be finishing up that last 1,000 when I retire. I'm
But
real
we
thrilled
still
with
got
that.
about 2,500 to go, and it takes a whole meter.
Maybe as much as 2,800, but yes.
So this is one thing, Fran, I will get done before I leave. I will get that done, I hope.
And I really appreciate the board allowing us this accelerated purchase. It was just too time consuming, and this will be able to reduce the reading time considerably.
And if we would have paid a company to put these in, it would have been another $30,000. So we really cut the cost by doing this ourselves.
Yep.
All right, what's next, David?
Well, I have, I was just going to mention we've already talked about Mary Ellen's awards, and it was in the newspaper that
She received the wastewater specialist of the year from Alliance of Indiana Rural Water. It's a statewide recognition. Every utility that's a member of Alliance had an opportunity to submit names, and she was chosen as the specialist of the year. I was real proud of that. And you can see that because of the work here in front of you. Other than that, that's it.
We have a water break on 8th Street. We have a water line break on 8th. I saw water on 8th Street around Lincoln.
It's coming out the ground.
What do we have?
I'll have that.
I
I've
don't
not had
think it
this
is, I
order.
think it's surface water.
I hope so. I hope
It's right in
because
the
it's
middle of
where
the-
we made
We have-
repairs just recently.
Lots of surface water going around. Out on 8th Street, end of last week, we had an issue where water actually coming off of 10th Street near 10th and Burton was going behind those houses and buildings into a ravine and then eventually over to Memorial, and that was filling up the sanitary sewer instead of going down in the storm.
And
So there's
passing
lots
the
of
lid down.
issues in stormwater that will need to be addressed in the future.
We've had some
Yes.
things happen that just never happened before.
It was a lot of water in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And the gentleman that we talked to, I left my business card and asked that he call me. But it
It
was
actually
just-
pushed the lid off of the sewage. It actually pushed it off.
Yeah, it was just a lot of water in a short amount of time, and the plan is to make sure that stormwater is taken care of.
Good.
Very good.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike? Do you have,
Real quick,
come on, you don't have to be quick. We'll give you as much time as we gave David.
just Babe Ruth Parade.
Babe Ruth Parade,
Yeah, they asked me to,
what day is it?
it'll be May 10th, 9 a.m. They want to start in 4th Street from the Canal House, down Central to 7th, across Eastern to Charles Street, and down to the ball field. Same route that they have taken the last few years.
So that means we'll have bad weather that day.
Probably gonna rain.
Probably, I thought so. It usually does.
That's opening day?
Yes,
You think we can be ready?
I hope so. We had it just about ready.
I know we did.
I haven't been down here since the water
Wow.
went back down, but
That's good.
It didn't flood as bad, did it? But
No.
it pushed the fence again, did it?
yes.
What's your pleasure, folks? Babe Ruth Parade, May 10th.
I move that we accept this request for this Babe Ruth Parade to take place on May the 10th at 9 a.m.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's all you got today?
Yeah, other than that letter, if you guys want to talk about the letter, but.
I don't think we're in a position to talk about it
I
yet.
didn't think so.
I'm gonna handle that in an executive session. It's
Okay.
negotiations, and it's negotiations for rental. And
Okay.
it's also, I need an executive meeting on personnel while I'm talking about it, what's convenient for you guys. With the utilities changing, I need an executive session so we can talk about salaries, and that's right, John, right? We can do that in private?
Yeah, it has to do with
Personnel issues, okay.
How soon do you want it?
We need it pretty quick if we can,
This week?
if we could.
We do it after this meeting?
No, I got meetings
Have to
scheduled all
advertise it,
day.
don't
Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't have one until 3. And
I've got somebody else waiting.
Anytime between 8:30 and 2:15 is good for me.
8:30 and 2:15
In the
in the
middle of the
daytime,
day.
is that the rest of you?
It's awful early
What
for
day
me.
you wanna do it, Melissa, what do we got?
Wednesday?
Wednesday at 9 o'clock?
Well, that's not 48 hours.
We don't have to advertise an executive meeting, do we, John?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one you do have to
Yeah.
advertise.
Okay.
Thursdays.
Thursday, is that soon enough? Can't do it?
You have to be in Indianapolis.
Oh.
Could do it Wednesday afternoon.
No, you can't. Wednesday afternoon?
But Jane can't come in the afternoon.
If I'm back by 3:15.
She can come from 2 to,
2?
3:15, I can be till 3:15, I gotta walk out.
2 o'clock, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Does that give us 24 hours? Or 48 hours?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 o'clock.
You just told them.
what time?
2 o'clock Wednesday, executive session. That gives us 48 hours. I told both of you, but you gotta get written notice, that's the law, so I'll get you written notice. Since this meeting's over, we'll give it to you if you just wait, okay? All right, let's do that, try to get that taken care of. Troy, you got business? You just came, okay. Did I miss anybody?
I got some business.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's just a little report on 21st and Western. I received about as many complaints as I have people for it. And we've been monitoring it still. I even been up there a few times monitoring. It seems like they're getting pretty used to it now. You got a few people still stopping and all this, but overall, they're going through there pretty good. So I even had one gentleman call and thinks we ought to do it at 18th Street. So anyway, I'm just saying I'm getting as many negatives I am positives about it. So
Would the paper consider putting a questionnaire in there? You like it or don't like it?
We have on Facebook.
How's it come?
Well, that was right after it happened, so a lot of them.
maybe we do it make it a month. It's only been 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, we can do it. If you want to do it that way.
Yeah, maybe we'll try it another month, so, because it seems like they're flowing through there pretty good. And like I said, I've had about as many complaints. as I have.
Anybody here against it or for it?
I think the biggest thing about the whole situation is just awareness. If people just pay attention, I mean.
And
We've
people
had-
getting used to it.
We've had one accident up there, that was in the first week. And what happened, a guy stopped and he pulled out basically and got hit. But I asked him, I said, you bother looking at the stop sign? No.
That's what I'm
Well,
talking
the
about.
stop sign below, cross traffic has a right of way, it
If
does
you're
not stop.
driving in Chicago, you'd watch every light and do what it said, but they're so used to it, they don't.
They're so used to it, and I know a lot of people who are aware of it, even find themselves going up there, no more action to stop, and
There a bus problem?
so,
Friday, we had a pretty close call. A person pulled out and the bus on one side and a semi coming on the other, and they both locked it up to keep from hitting the car.
What's your driver's telling you?
The people running north and south stop still, and we've had to,
They aren't used to it yet.
they're not used to it yet. And
if
Friday
they were-
was the closest we'd come.
If
Friday
they were
afternoon.
running back and forth
Yeah.
through it, it wouldn't be a problem. It confuses people when
It can-
someone north and south stops.
Yeah, and it's, people are, we had a gentleman the other day stop from out of town, a community north of here, stopped southbound and looked at the east and westbound and was waving them across like, come on, and no, you keep going. So the people wanting to direct traffic was fun that day.
That's my point about awareness.
Yeah, awareness,
Just
they're not
pay
looking at the
attention.
sign, they're just,
Exactly.
it's the habit of what you always do.
we don't have any backup problem like we did, there, backing up toward 23rd or 24th or vice versa, going over toward 20th and 18th Street. That's been pretty much going through, not with somebody, you got one person stopping, then the other person behind them that, beeping the horn, making, get going, you have the right of way, and they're looking, what you about beeping the horn at me for? I mean, it's like, just getting aware of it and getting used to it. So, like I said, I've had as many.
We've got the same thing. We got probably as many for it as against it. It's hard to tell what people think of it. All right, anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Old business. Anybody got any old business?
Considering all the research here on purchasing the property for the Ball Diamond, we did approach a couple of appraisers. We got a price from them, and we're working with a couple people on raising some funding. It's going to cost $2,000 to get the appraisals, and all we need to do is find the funding. I guess that's a good place to start. So I'll have more information on that next week. We have a meeting with a group to maybe raise some funds for the appraisals.
Under the circumstances where it's flooding down there all the time, it really needs to be done, but we just don't have the tax money to fund it, so we're gonna have to find other ways to do it.
Well, we'll just put it out to the community. There's,
Yeah.
we've
I know
passed the
there's been
plate.
some effort to raise some money.
Yes.
Miscellaneous business, you got anything, Ronnie?
No, I'm fine.
Mike?
I have just one thing, a request, Your Honor. Would you please again flail the rumor that we are not selling the water company?
Oh, I know.
They
I've
are
seen it
wearing
on
me
TV,
out.
it's been in the paper.
Put it in the paper in bold print, way on the front page, please. My goodness. That's all I've got, sir. Thank you.
Fran, you got anything miscellaneous?
Just sort of getting regular reports on the progress on the new street developments up in 21st.
Yeah, we meet every 2 weeks
Okay,
on Wednesday, and they began digging the hole, and then it started raining.
Will they be
But,
coming to our meetings to bring us up to date?
I can ask them to. We have our inspector. I can ask him to come. I attend those meetings. There's a few piddly things. We got a sewer problem up there. Where's the bids on that? You're not prepared to bring those yet, right?
No, I'm not.
Wessler's left a sewer, two blocks of sewer out, that or water line.
No, it's a one block of sanitary sewer
Yeah, we got
that
to
recently, when I say recently, last couple of years, we've been in it, and it's too difficult to even get our equipment through. It's really deteriorating, so while they have the road open, that's the best time to replace it.
So we're getting some bids, and I think the closest bid we got now is $29,000. We're getting some bids to replace that. We'll be bringing those to you, which we'll have to pay for because it wasn't in the original project. But everything seems to be going pretty well. Nobody likes the trees taken down, including me, but that's part of it. We had no choice. It's on schedule or ahead of schedule so far.
Good.
That's good news.
But we meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday in this room in all the office. They'll tell you what time we meet. We don't meet here, we meet over on the other side. And
Yeah, I just wondered, I had something else earlier in this meeting. You talked about every little bit helps when we were discussing the trash. I would like to propose to bring people's attention about this $1 a year insurance thing. We've got 14 people that are getting almost $25,000 worth of insurance for $1. And their total is around $300,000. I'd like to see that these people be required to pay at least 10% like all other retiree and active employees are paying. That would give us $30,000 at least. And I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers that these people get insurance for $1 a year. I'd like to see it changed.
is that contractual or just an agreement?
It's contractual.
I talked with Mr. Baker. He thinks it could be done because the other retirees, some retirees are paying 10%.
Actually, Fran, they only pay 5.
Do they pay
The
5%?
retirees that are getting insurance pay half
Well, then
of
it
what the
should,
regular.
then it should be changed to 10%. I think everybody, I'd like to see 80-20 is what I'd like, but the chances of that happening are about 0.5%, so.
The insurance that the city pays now, with the retirees paying either $1 or paying their 5%, the city is paying $621,000.
I know, I've got
a
that
year.
figure in front of me.
Oh, you got the figure, okay. It would take city council to change that, and then you would probably get a grievance from the union would have to file the grievance on behalf of the retired employees. If it is, John, have you looked at that? Is it contractual in both contracts?
I haven't, no, Fran just mentioned it earlier today. I think the theory would be the same as why you're cutting overtime and clothing allowance and so on. It would have to be the same theory, otherwise
It
it's
surely wouldn't be
contractual, it couldn't be
unfair
done.
for everybody to pay at least 10%.
I don't think so either. I think it's an injustice to the taxpayers to be subsidizing this insurance for these retirees. That's my opinion.
What's the rest of the board think?
Well, you certainly can't ignore the fact that the escalated cost of insurance wasn't anticipated as much as less as probably 3 years ago, so I would like to see it looked at, yes.
I feel the same way. I think everybody should pay the same. As fair as fair, especially the shape the town's in.
I would like to see it reviewed.
So I appreciate the support of my colleagues on the board. I just don't think it's fair. 20 years ago when this was instituted, I didn't like it then. I don't like it today. So it's been a 20-year battle on my part.
Fran, you and I will take that to city council tonight, okay?
Yes, I would appreciate
And
that.
we'll discuss that and see how they feel about it. And in the meantime, John, could you review the contracts and see whether it's contractual or just an agreement
It's in there, I'm sure it is.
It's contractual.
on both?
Yeah,
Yes.
but again, you have to look at the
I know.
reasons that you're not complying with the contracts to some extent now.
As the attorney said, we've taken away clothing allowance. That's contractual, isn't it? So where does it stop in changing what's in the contract?
That's what I think it should all fall in together.
Well, I don't see why we should discriminate against, I mean, the active employees have a complaint, say, hey, Some people only paying 5%, some people paying $1. Why am I paying 10?
I agree.
I agree.
All right,
Sure,
we'll
Paul.
take it to council
May
tonight.
I comment, please?
Yes.
It's actually a question. Knowing that the contractual people or people currently employed, they agree or not agree, you negotiate all the costs. Those who retire, are you telling me that once someone retires with the assumption they have these benefits for the rest of their retirement, that you can change them at any time, changing their potential availability of quality of life because of cutting into the cost and so forth? Or so you're saying that once someone retires, thinking they get those benefits, that you or council can then change anyone's benefits at any time once they retire?
Companies are doing it all over the United States.
Visteon done it to me. They took away everything I had.
Times have changed, Dave. I mean, when this thing was enacted, we had 10,000 industrial jobs, high-paying jobs. They're gone. They're not coming back. So our citizens have had to tighten their belt. Why don't employees have to tighten their belt?
That's not the reason, though. You're missing the point.
Why don't they have to tighten their belt?
You're missing the point. The only way it could be done would be because you've declared a financial emergency.
That's what the whole
And
point is.
if the savings of these amounts would help alleviate the financial emergency, as the resolution you passed authorizes the mayor and city and clerk treasurer to do, that is, take whatever steps are necessary to alleviate the financial emergency, if in fact that's a step and it's decided that will in effect help alleviate the financial emergency, that would be the only justification. Otherwise, you cannot violate your contractual agreement.
So we need an actual amount that it would save. We need it pinpointed. It would save.
Well, that was easy to come up with.
The issue here is it wouldn't make any difference how much it saves. It's not going to make you.
These are the people paying 5%, he's paying $1.
It wouldn't make you whole. I talked with Julie and I talked with Pam this morning. They don't think we're going to make it with the steps that I put into place. But we're just a few months away from getting the tax draw in June, when we can really take a good, clean look at things and decide. We'll have a better look of where we're going to be at that time. I said to one of them, either Julie or Pam this morning, I said, well, what would the next step be if we're not going to make it on what I've put into place with the no overtime, cutting costs, and no clothing allowance? What? She said, you have no choice but people.
That's right.
Because all the payments are people. I don't want to do that unless we just absolutely have to.
But that would be the time to determine whether or not additional cuts were necessary.
Right.
Perhaps.
Yeah, Mike was mentioning how he felt that was unfair because that's what Ford did to him. So I guess the idea then is, since it was unfair to him, we should make sure we're unfair to anyone who's retired.
I think what happens is once you're out of money, everything's fair. Is that proper, John?
Fair enough. I mean, it's
That's exactly the way Visteon.
I'm not sure everything is.
Seriously.
Certain things are.
Okay.
Once they dropped the gavel, we lost everything.
Well, you kept your death benefits because we went up there and fought for them. You got that, or the hourly employees do.
I don't.
You got, they took away your health insurance, but they gave you a lump sum death payment, or health payment. I mean, we went to Delaware and fought for it.
All right.
If
If they did, I haven't seen the check.
I think realistically, you can't ignore the fact that healthcare is a big issue across this nation, and so we all can't just stick our head in the sand and say, that's the way it was, and that's the way it's got to be. So I'm not saying that is the correct way to change it. I'm just saying it needs to be reviewed, and there's possibilities we need to do something. So
Without the financial emergency aspect, it has to be negotiated.
yeah.
That's all.
And I think Jane makes a fair point. We need to see how much it's going, what the dollar value is of it.
Okay, thank you much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Anybody else? Miscellaneous business? We're still on miscellaneous. Jane, I didn't get you.
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Always fine.
Claims and payroll.
I'll go ahead with utilities if it's okay. Water was $116,806.69. Sewer was $96,123.60. Stormwater was $20,493.55. Trash was $53,324.57 for a total of $286,748.41.
The city claims were 163, the amount $124,093.43. And I see our tub grinder needs some more expensive repairs. What is going on? Is this operator negligence or what? And David, what's going on with your tub
It's
grinder?
fixed, the back downer being used today. We had some parts break inside.
Yeah, a
some
couple
teeth.
$1,000 we
Yeah,
spent.
that's a very expensive piece of equipment to operate.
How come it keeps breaking down? We do this every year. We go through these repairs.
Yes, you do.
I know it.
And you'll continue doing it.
Why?
It's the age of it and just, once in a while, and we've talked about this, but nothing's ever been done. When people drop stuff off down there, there's all kinds of debris, trash, whatever, cement blocks, bricks, whatever. And it's just pretty much impossible to make sure you get everything out of it. So once in a while, you'll dump something in it. And that happens and it just eats it up.
I think it's probably true to say, though, when we have certain people operating it, it goes better than it does when other people
And we
operate.
try to use that individual in there as much as we can.
Yeah, and it's been going well. He's been down there, I think, the last several days last week.
I just wonder if it was operator negligence or what. I just think a piece of equipment should hold up better than what it does, but thanks, Dave.
Are the city claims down, Fran?
Yes.
Yes.
How much are we down?
General fund, we only had like 65,000 this time.
So what we're doing is working.
It's helping.
It's keeping our head afloat.
And actually, I ran a report at the end of, for the end of March. Our general fund wasn't down as badly as I thought, so
Okay, it's working.
better than I thought.
Good.
It's working.
I have a question for the fire department. Overhead doors, we see this about every other month. Are the doors falling apart or what?
Well, this time it was the cable sprayed. Phil and Tim McFarland, Phil Hamilton came down and we put rollers on them that broke. But they noticed the cables were frayed and they couldn't do that. So they had to have cables put in. Station one. Heavy doors, a lot of tension on them.
Yeah, that's.
How much was that? I didn't notice that.
$189, but there's something in there usually about once every couple of months. Do we do any kind of maintenance on those, PM maintenance at all?
Yeah, but those cables and
Get frayed, worn? I got you. Okay, thank you.
Troy, I noticed we had some instructor conference. We had sent three fellows to that. Is that mandated or what?
we do that every year and we had committed to that before this financial emergency.
Okay, so I don't know, maybe you could send one, he could instruct the other two when he got back or something?
Yeah, they instruct per shift.
Till the end of the year, we're not doing any of that. All the training's being done right here.
Okay, okay, well, okay.
Those were things that they'd signed up to prior.
Right, prior to.
Pre-commitment.
On the road, yeah. Well, Mayor, I think you're on the right track. I know our assessment's probably going to be down, so I think Julie and her people in the office are on, know what they're talking about when they're saying it may not work. Hopefully it will.
Well,
Because we know assessments aren't going up, so.
but if we can keep it to a very minimum, if you folks notice, the county borrowed $600,000 from their bridge fund. We haven't borrowed any money because we're trying to make it work. Because when you borrow money, you gotta pay it back by the first of the year.
Let's talk about combining government here. I know we got a county of 25,000 people, a town of 13,000.
23,800.
We got a budget of 13 plus million. I don't know what the county's budget is. Is it around 11, 12 million?
No, I don't think it's that high.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're.
Why do we need, no offense, John, but why do we need 2 attorneys in the county? Why do we need 2 clerk treasurers? And why do we need 2 street departments? The things we have combined are working well: animal shelter, 911, EMS, IT. The big ones need to be looked at: street department, fire, police. We have 4 fire departments. We have 2 police departments. Do we really need that in this county of 25,000 people?
The question you're posing.
Something there, if I could, Mayor.
The question you're posing is whether or not the city and county should be a consolidated city.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Well,
Indianapolis,
Fort McGee
Marion
got
County. Yeah, Unigo is exactly right. And that's possible, but it has to be done through the state legislature.
I think the state legislature already has things in place you can do it. I think there's one county that's doing it right now.
Is a referendum required?
It's in the
No.
Constitution, it's in the state constitution itself, I believe.
It's possible.
And the last time I
Well,
looked
the
at
last-
Marion and Indianapolis were the only two.
Yeah,
allowed.
Unigo started with 250,000 people. Indianapolis qualified. Fort Wayne began looking at it. The legislature upped the population requirement from 250 to 500,000, so that knocked Fort Wayne out. Of it being done to the I thought that a referendum had to be.
I haven't looked at it that closely, because we never, ever discussed it really. But or in depth, but the consolidated city is what you're
Yes.
discussing, and that means a consolidation of the county and the city, where you have a unified city-county council,
Yes.
for example, and you have a mayor, and you have no county commissioners,
Right.
and various things like that that combine all of the operations. But it's certainly possible. It's been done other places, other states, somewhat in Indiana. But you're going to find that there's a lot of vested interest out
Yes.
there. People are going to push back,
A lot of objections.
and that's just the nature of the thing.
It's going to take a lot of research and a lot of data to support it.
Oh my, yes.
Could we find a town that's doing it?
Yeah, there is a town that's in the process right now, and I can't remember. I'm sitting here trying to think of the name of the town.
Would it be Evansville?
I think so.
Yeah.
They're working on it. There's things you can do without legislation that you can consolidate services. And I think for this type of community, I think you got to go into that real easy.
Yeah.
Because everybody is, got their own turf.
Sure.
But in the things that you've been reading in the paper that I've said, something's got to be done, because it's absolutely impossible to go on like we are.
Well,
I
Mayor,
don't
you've
think there's
done it with
anybody on this board
911.
that knows that something's got to be done.
True.
When you're spending $1.5 million more than you take in, you can't spend very long.
You've done it with 911 and EMS.
Yes.
Isn't that correct?
Well, the animal shelter is another.
And others,
and
yeah.
IT,
So you can't consolidate services.
Sure.
Without Unigo.
EMS and fire service is going to have to be combined. We
Yeah,
have
those-
14 men over at EMS and 26 people over at the fire department. The volunteer fire departments, I've talked to the chiefs, during the day, they can get 1 or 2 people to show up. They're having trouble too. They don't have financial trouble. If they got trouble, they can't get people to show up. So they depend on us on the weekend. There's got to be a change all the way around the whole deal.
Absolutely.
And it's coming. Someone's going to have to face
Sooner
it.
the better, I think.
I think one of the things we have to be extremely cautious of, and I'm not against this, Fran, at all, but when we start talking about this type of government, you got to understand what's going to fall through the cracks when we don't have the resources to take care of it. And this right here is a prime example of it, right here, this book. How important is it? I don't know, but it's government mandated, I'm sure. And when you start taking people out and combining jobs, and you've been through it, it's a rough road to
Well,
hoe.
you know, you're not going to change the utility. The city owns the utility. If it becomes a city county,
I'm just using
they're
that
gonna
as an
own the
example.
utility.
I understand.
You're going to have that person down at the wastewater treatment, whether you like it or not. You got to have that person.
Sure.
Right.
That's state-
Well,
state
when you
requirement.
look at 14 men over at the first aid unit and 26 firemen, and Everton's struggling, I'm sure that the other 2 fire departments are struggling getting people. You know, in the old days, when the fire whistle blew, the store guy and the banker and everyone came running and they ran to the fire. In today's world, they work at a company maybe 30 miles away. They can't jump out and run and get in the fire truck. And it's a different world. So, I've been told that New Albany has the ideal situation. I haven't had a chance to look at it. I've been told that Tell City faced it and fixed it. I don't know how they've done it. Maybe the fire chief does. I don't know. It's the same with the police department. At night, and I'm going to tell this, I probably shouldn't, there's many times at night we have to go out and help a deputy, because in this county at night there's 1 deputy. If he has to make a call, that's a bad call. One of our men go out and help him. We don't charge the county for that.
That's my point. Yeah.
That would be one place where you could work together. But we can't change it today, but it's a good comment, Fran. And it's gonna come, one way or the other, because economics is
Yes.
forcing it. If there's anybody in this room don't believe it, come look at the books.
That's, the severity of this situation we're in is, it's real, I'm
And
telling
it's,
you.
and it's not just us.
No, it isn't.
It's every city around us is in the same boat. Okay, claims. I'll take
We
it.
need the claims. I'll move that they be approved as presented.
I'll second.
Did you take all claims, City and,
Yes.
Yes,
All claims,
include
yes.
payroll.
any further discussion on claims? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Claims approved. Public forum, I think we got some things we need to discuss on the ADA plan. Did you want to bring that up today?
Yeah, well, actually, we're set to talk about that after.
You're not coming up here and talk to these guys yet?
I don't have the information from these skis.
Okay, anybody else have anything under public information they want to talk about today? Did you have anything you want to bring up? Anybody? I'm sorry, I thought you guys had things, okay. Well, I'm ready to adjourn.
I'll make that motion that we adjourn.
We got that meeting set for
I'll
Wednesday.
second.
Thank you, Dave.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.